Alright, so today's video, we are watching a Pro 4 Sigma on the PS4. The Sigma in this video says, this Sigma build is designed to keep you and maybe your teammates alive forever. The combination of passive healing from, I'm not trying to read this one, the Thesis ability and Martian Mender, Boston accent, sometimes it happens, and lifesteal from synced shielding and Gloom Gauntlet means that you will heal yourself like crazy, all based on your max health, which in the final build is around 1200. This much healing also grants a lot of ult charge. So round 7 having Maestro, whatever people always say, it's the opposite or other, and the injection one works very well. So you said that you can keep your teammates alive forever. I'm curious how this went 7 rounds. Let's find out. Just to show chat the build, Orbital Barrier. You get a mini barrier around you. It has 50% reduced health and a bunch of other stuff. Yep. It's interesting seeing like Sigma in this mode now. I've actually enjoyed the third person on Sigma. It's just like sort of different vibe. By the way, this is my first time actually seeing first person Sigma in this mode, so I can actually see that it is pretty obvious when your shield's near you and all that. It's a little bit actually more intuitive, I would say. Yep. Almost a yup rock there. I don't know where the fray is going, but apparently back to spawn. Yep. So far, everything's fine here. I mean, like, you're just kind of going in, making a play. You know, doing your thing. A little bit of a note, that soldier right side, you probably could have peeled off at one point to go help with the soldier because they were just shooting at you at that angle and spam out, but instead of that, you're fine here. You're pretty much just sitting in front of you, just shooting at who's in front of you. I want to see how this build goes, because if it keeps your teammates alive, and it keeps you alive the whole time, I'm curious to see where it goes as an ability. Is there a way to deactivate the shield that goes around you to, like, manage the shield, or is it just constantly break and reset? Yeah, just so you know, at a certain point what you want to do, and especially in Stadium, is be a little bit more aggro at a certain point, because even, like, some of the chip damage you do will eventually lead to kills, and obviously the more you get early game will lead to a good Stadium cash flow, so don't be afraid to get those kills, because I think you kind of played it safe. You can ult this after at about 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Now hit your ult button. A little bit of a tip here for people. It's actually not a bad idea to ult a Zen ult towards the tail end of it, because you're going to get the kill in the follow-up, so don't be afraid sometimes to hit that button. I think sometimes people get really afraid to hit the button as they're doing that. You can do that, is what I'm saying. Anyway, continue on here. Basically, what I like to do against the Zenyatta is I'll count to like maybe 3, and then I'll start ulting the Zen, so that way you lift the Zenyatta ultimate up into the air, and when they land, it will do damage to them. That is the thing. Like, you can lift up the Zenyatta ultimate with your ult, and at the very worst, if you just get the Zen, it will remove the Zen ult from everybody below, kind of, like if you're doing it in the right spot. So, is the second shield really strong? It gets better over time. So, anyway, there's a little bit of a tip on the ultimate that you can do. Where you can get rocked during this, but I don't think you're worried about that, because maybe the shield helps. Again, don't be afraid to hit your ult button there.
Tactical visor activated.
Okay, so first round you lose. Now, again, your build takes time. You always gotta remember the early rounds of this map are just very chill. You're not gonna, it's like basically like you're playing like Overwatch, right? It's like, it's a normal part of that. Then it starts to pick up over time, and let's see where that picks up. You got the Thesis one, which is the experimental barrier heals nearby allies for 3% of your max life. That's a good one. Now, I wonder how that feels the ult charge. I think that what I'm curious on is the ult charge here. Where am I? How am I outside of the door? Where am I? Okay, not bad. Good start. So now if you're with your team more, you're gonna heal. I kind of want to try this build today. I didn't really give this build a shot at first because I wanted to find like a really aggressive attack speed one, which I think we've settled on a pretty good build for Sigma. So I will definitely try this build. I mean, I'm curious to see how it plays out. Because like having the extra healing could be kind of fun, and it's probably gonna be more annoying to deal with than anything. Yeah, I mean, right now, it's just about, like, you're going to lose a little bit of the damage output, but I think, like, the survivability of your teammates may result in good stuff. Right? I want to give you a little bit of a tip for players on Sigma. One of the ways that I can find myself to get a huge advantage on Sigma is look for like the isolated players. Like if you're Sigma right here and there's a Soldier 76 up here, I think the best thing you can do is kind of focus some damage onto Soldier, spam out players on good angles. And when you spam the players out on good angles, what it does is it forces this player eventually back. If they don't back up, you get a free kill because everybody else is down here. At the very least, it eventually makes them have to back up. And then that's your time to do more damage here, which puts your team in like a very good spot. But like you can still do what you're doing, just add a little bit extra damage out there. You'd be surprised that doing what like 75 damage to that soldier might send that soldier like to a health pack or force out a cooldown. So Sigma's a hero that I always say you control the game and the space by your damage, right? So even though you're doing like this like keep your teammates alive build, you don't want to give up map control. And you don't need to be next to them to do that. You just use your damage to get them away. One of the most annoying things to deal with against the Sigma is the random spam damage. A little bit of a note I've seen so far from your build. Is this a VOD review? It's kind of both. I'm learning some new builds for Sigma, and I give a little bit of advice along the way. I wouldn't say it's as in-depth as like my spectating have become, because obviously we've added like more to that, but it definitely is... You know, if I see things, I will point them out. But I'm learning about the build. This is supposed to be a very tanky, like, survivability Sigma build. So far, it's kind of going based off of what my experiences were when I played it, where you kind of can't get the kills. But I think that if you're not going to spam people out, that's what's going to happen over and over again. You need to find a little bit more damage output on everybody else. They're getting the Philharmonic Fortitude. Experimental Berry has increased health, and it regenerates constantly, but slower while deployed. Okay, I like that. So that kind of works well with the shield spin. Then you got the Mecha Z series for the extra health and armor. You got Sync Shielding. You gain attack speed. Okay, so it's like the attack speed weapon lifesteal one. That's a pretty cool one when you're behind it or in front of it. Siphon gloves to keep the melee there, and then plasma converter for weapon lifesteal. So very lifesteal based. So we'll see how this goes. Here we go. Hey, no worries at all, Scrub. You do your thing. Nope. Looks like the Kiriko clone got a kill on Zen. This is like more like learning builds while reviewing some stuff. I'm watching your HP and I see what it does. So basically you leave the shield up and then let it break because it's gonna regen slow anyway. But then like, I see what you're doing. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. How much healing he's done? 570 healing thus far. So that's actually, you can see it, like it's going up pretty steadily actually. And then that means you're gonna get quick ults. I wonder, so the mini barrier is not unbreakable, but it probably takes a lot to get it down. Okay, I can see where this build's going. You heal your teammates, it gives you extra value, and then you get quick ultimates anyway, so you don't even have to do as much damage, even though you should still spam them, right? I can see this being a fun build. It's not going to have the same, like, I guess, like, power that the attack speed one, but it has, like, power in a different way. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. In Stadium, I think saving your ultimates forever is probably not going to be the play. I think actually a really good strategy is to just, like, pop your ult sometimes. Like, ults build so quickly in this mode, especially as you keep scaling. And you also have something that when your teammates take damage, you're going to get your ult quicker. So I think you should ult already. Like it's not as simple as just waiting forever on that one. Even if they Zen ult this, that's fine. But you could have got that Zen ult 30 seconds prior to this, right? Just seeing the mini barrier in first person throwing it off? Yeah, it's a little bit different because that's the first time I've seen it. Yep. Does Sigma say they won? I don't think they said they won or lost. If they did, I already forgot. I'm gonna keep it that way. So yeah, you're gonna do a good job here. Yep, Brock. Your cooldown usage could use some work, by the way. And I want to point this out as to why. So one of the things that you're doing wrong on Sigma sometimes is I feel like you're like afraid to use your abilities. When you hear a bunch of burst damage coming at you as Soldier and they're like putting a bunch of damage into you, that's where you use your shield. Just to reiterate this for players with your Sigma E, you get overshield. So the more damage you absorb, the tankier you become. And when you have a build that's built around tankiness and healing, that can go a long way. So don't be afraid when you see a bunch of burst damage like the soldier hold and left click aggressively to then use your eat then, because I just watched you wait to use your eat, get 100 overshield, and that was that. So I do want you to be a little bit careful in those type of situations, okay? Hey, you popped your ult early. That's good. That's a good sign. There you go. That's a little bit more there. You got, what, 200 to 300 overshield there? Look at your health for a while. You know what I mean? Like, that's huge. Damn, so you lose, you're down 3-0, but you don't get mercy ruled. Okay. See, this is my one concern, is because I tried this build and I ended up in similar situations, and at times it would be a little bit scuffed, so I'm kind of curious to see where it goes, okay? So your build now is Martian Mender. Martian Mender restores 3% of your health every second. You get 10% cooldown reduction, a little bit of extra HP. So yeah, you're definitely going a very like survivability tank build. The problem is how does it scale against other stuff? So we'll see. I know, apparently with Martian Mender, the accent just comes out. I'm sorry, chat. I can't do anything about it. All right. So now you're down 3-0. The only thing we do know is it goes 7 rounds, so something changes here for the team. I'm curious to see what it is. I mean, you're already at 50% health, so like I can see where the value of this this build goes, is that, hey, if you take damage and your team takes damage, you're going to build really quick ults. So it's funny because I feel like this is a really good ult build in one that you won't do as much damage, but you're guaranteed to do some type of damage because of what Sigma ult does, where it does, what, 50% of, or whatever. So it's like, it's still good regardless. Like, your ultimate will get value because you're getting quick ults. Mini shield does stop rock. I can confirm that because I tried rocking it one time. It does, or many times, it does not work. How much is the Sigma healing between rounds? Good question. I can look very quickly for you. Throughout all of the rounds, Sigma has more healing than Kiriko, even though I think that might be a clone build, but has 6,600 healing, and this build late. So 6,700 healing almost, with a bunch of damage to go with it. Wait for it. What a duel this is. What a duel. That Lucio thought they were destroying you in there. Meanwhile, you healed the whole time. Yeah, Brock? Isn't the other Sigma healed? I'll look in a second. Probably. I mean, I can take a look very quickly while we're enemy. They're like doing the same thing, yeah. The other tank's doing essentially the same thing, but a little bit different. So they're both going the same way on this one. You think the Sigma build could go well with a Casta team? Oh yeah, because you can kind of basically have your cast play around you. Yeah, it's not a bad idea. I'm gonna try this build out myself once I play. I think it'd be good to try, you know? I mean, I like that you ulted, though. Again, I don't want you to feel like it's a bad idea to ult, okay? Oh, wow. Okay, I'm starting to see a little bit of this survivability here, chat. Are you seeing this? I know that Sigma's getting healed a little bit, but that was kind of cool. You had 29 HP, maybe lower at some point, and you managed to get all the way back to full with minimal heals on you. I think you had a couple Kiriko heals because I heard the sound, but, like, look at that. And you're 50% of your next ult? Okay, I'm seeing the viability of this build. My only concern is that this build feels very much like a late game build. What power in the build lets him regen? I think it's the items and the power. So you have the shield that goes around you. You have the item that makes your shield better. And then there's an item that like gives you, I think, 3%. And then you have Martian Mender, which is always healing you. Yep. So if you look right now, Sigma had 6,000 heal in that round. Sigma had 6,000 healing almost. The next closest person was the other Sigma at 4,700 healing. And then the supports were like not even close. Look at that. Look at the healing there. The Kiriko heals are scuffed because if the Kiriko is running the clone build, and again, I've given this feedback to the stadium team. You need to make sure the Kiriko clones are showing up on the leaderboard, because you're going to have a lot of people who purely look at stats in the leaderboard and assume the Kiriko is just doing absolutely nothing. But in reality, that Kiriko might have 10,000 heals. You pick up Gloom Gauntlet, which Gloom Gauntlet, when you do damage, obviously I can read here. It says grants 10% movement speed and restores 5% of your HP. And then for Rust Dung, it just, while you're below HP, you gain damage reduction. So all of this is very, 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 very tanky. And then you picked up Event Horizon, so damage absorbed by Kinetic Grasp also restores your HP, your barrier health, so you get excess health into over health. That's really good. So you're combining that, which then builds up your shield. So now you get more benefit from getting even better eats with your absorption. So yeah, this build is very, very, very tanky, very heal based, but like it's been working so far. So we'll see. Yeah, Brock, I love to see it. Yeah, I mean, you can just tell already. I mean, like if you look at the healing done from both Sigmas, like the Sigmas are like almost, you become almost a third support. You're kind of like an in-between of like a third support and like a tank, exactly. It's a way different vibe than what you would normally get on Sigma, and that's kind of the cool part about Stadium. I think you can build these characters into different like styles. I wouldn't doubt it if one day we start to like name like different styles of Sigma. Do you know how like let's say in like an MMO you have like different specs that you can go? So you'll have like a, I don't know, like a, a discipline priest, a holy priest, a shadow priest. I think eventually we'll start to have that. We'll probably have different names for that, like for Sigma, with different builds you can go, which is really cool. That's what's really cool about Stadium, is the ability to kind of create the hero a little bit differently than you normally would go. Yes, I don't like that bug. That bug is, I mentioned that hopefully they get that fixed soon. It's where your Sigma shield looks broken. So like sometimes I won't look at all the numbers on my screen and I assume my shield's broken. It's just like, it makes me play a little bit differently sometimes because I think I'm mismanaging my shield, when in reality it's just not updating the shield to be not broken. You see what I'm talking about? Like their shield is at 1,000 HP at full HP. Watch their shield when they put it up there. It shows the animation is broken. So you think your shield's broken, so you try to manage it more? I know you can see the numbers on your screen, but sometimes I'm just not focused on that. I use the shield's like look to make my decision on how to manage my shield. It was a good rock. Yeah, Brock is right. You can ult this, by the way. Remember, get ults out. It's a good idea. Don't be afraid to ult. Even if they have an ult and you're tracking it, it's okay to do that. Okay, now you can wait. This is perfect. Ready? 3, 2, ult. Oh, no, you waited too long. Yep, Rock, never mind. You knew you were going to rock him. I respect the play. Yep. You can ult. Okay. I want to help you here because I think you save your ultimate too much. You were in a situation on a mode that if you ult and win right here, you get that. They're stacked in front of you. You're in a great spot. You have full HP. You have a full shield. Why are you waiting to pop that ultimate? So I think, just remember, like, something I've noticed out of you is that sometimes you get a little bit too safe with your cooldowns. Just ult and win this right here. You'll literally win right here. Like you would have already won the map if you just popped that well before. What's the floating shield? Next time, that's one of the powers you get on Sigma in this one. How's it going? Yeah. Like, you get, like, way more. They wouldn't even be like, get back to point at this point. You already would have won. Just so don't be afraid to hit that button. All right. But there you go. Good round. I mean, hey, it was 3-0, and now you're going on to round 6. Sigma has 1,203 HP. Actually, it looks like you're done with your build. The only thing you could maybe change is Mecha Z for, there's one other item, I'm forgetting what it is. It's the other one, kind of like Rust Dung, but it's a little bit better. Yeah, it feels like your build's done at round 6 outside of Mecha Z. Because, like, all these items all go well together, so I think you're just, at this point, you've pretty much maxed out your build by round 6. But yes, the reduction field one. Yes, that's what I was thinking of, reduction field. That one's pretty good. Here we go. There you go, you're just getting aggressive. Let me give you an idea of where I think the injection ability one's really strong. Late game D.Va ults, now that they've nerfed the D.Va build more. I think it's fine for late game D.Va. Soldier 76 and Cassidy are both really good options late game, because as it scales, those ultimates lose so much value. So, like, why not, like, you know, if you're on those heroes, why not use those heroes, like, for that type of, like, thing, right? Where, like, your ultimate loses so much value as you scale. I think Sigma's ultimate doesn't lose as much value throughout the whole round because of what Sigma's ult does. So I think, like, that, while that's a good item, I think you'd be better off just using your ultimate more on Sigma. Like, I think you just get way more value out of that, is what I'm saying. Like, right here, you ult. Just hit your ult button. Like, just hit ult now. Go. Ult. And the reason why you're going to do this is because you're building your ult so quickly that you'll get out their Zenyatta ultimate if they have it. Stadium has a little bit of a different vibe on ult economy. Like, if we were playing regular Overwatch, I'd be like, okay, you know what? Like, don't ult that. Save your ultimate for retake. But in Stadium, I think, like, with how quickly you can build ults, I think it's okay to launch that ultimate right there and enforce out even a Zenyatta ultimate because you're going to get it so quickly. I'm watching your ult. It goes up so fast. Like, right now, like, you know, if you want to win the cart, hey, heck it. You don't have to ult the Sigma. If you did, I would probably be okay with it. I'm not saying it's the best play, but, like, don't be afraid to hit that button is what I'm saying. I like that you're using your shield to try to heal your teammates, too. I see what you're doing. That is something I didn't really pick up on. Like, you can, like, throw your shield at your teammates that will heal your teammates. I kind of like that. There you go. Yes. Thank you for using your ult. And look how much damage it still does late game because of the Sigma ult. Yep. And with beat, you almost had 2,000 HP right there. That was amazing. And there you go, chat. On to round 7. Will the reverse sweep happen? Will this build take this team to the next level? Will an ultimate be used more than once? We will find out. Just to show the final build here for Sigma, I'm going to actually copy this build to save. If you're watching the video and you want to know how to save builds, you can do them from Spectating. So what you would do is you would hit tab, you hit the interact button, whatever it is on the console or PC you're playing. Then you go to team builds or enemy builds, depending on what you want to see. Then you click this image here. See this image? You hit left click, it brings you to here, and then you can hit the bottom, you can hit copy build to saved. And then when you go to your builds, it will be under saved. But that's how you save them and find these builds when you're playing, all right? So yeah, looks like for round 7, you grab the, oh, okay, yeah, I see it now. What they did is rather than, because they don't use ult, and maybe this fits your play style, they got the Maestro one, whatever you call it. This one reduces the ult cost by 50%, but reduces the radius. But if you're not using your ultimate, the injection one makes perfect sense because you're gonna build your ult so quick early on that you're gonna get the injection one. Now this one, anyone who doesn't know, when you have ult charge, it gives you all of these stats: 10% weapon power, ability power, attack speed, cooldown reduction, movement speed. So this is the final build they have. So we'll see how it plays, but I imagine you're going to be going really fast. Well, in this build, you want to use your ult. Yeah, well, like, basically, listen, I still think that when Sigma didn't have that ult, that power, that ulting should have happened way more frequently, but if you're not going to ult, and it's a part of your playstyle off the ult, might as well build into it, right? Yep, Brock. There you go. And there we go. Now you're going to see, Sigma's going to level up here in a second with, like, there we go. Now you're going to see Sigma move faster. You can see it. I can see it in real time.
51 months. Salute.
There you go.
Emoji.
Everything got buffed with that because of that item. Hey, Little, thanks for the 51 months of Prime, so thank you. Appreciate it. Yep, and even, that ult's fine. I mean, look at Sigma's HP. I think Sigma got healed by your ultimate. Wonderful. All right, here we go. But you have so much. Look at how quickly you can get the ult again with that. You'll see in a second here. Look at this. That's why it synergizes so well. Late game. Like wow. You're still up here. They get you, but like they had to battle you down. Holy crap. They had to battle you down, but that was cool though. Here we go. Yep, there's the little baby ult. See, I love this ult because I miss it all the time. But then I have an excuse. I'm like, oh, don't worry about that ult. I have the baby ult. That's my bad. That's why I miss my ultimate. I definitely would have missed that too if I was doing the other way too. Noob tree, thank you for that gift and stuff. Thank you, appreciate it. Now you getting the point. Can you build this in practice range and save it that way? Sure can. Yep. The ult still zones? No, it does. I mean, even the voice line. It's actually legitimately a voice line ultimate. Jax, I would just recommend going back in the VOD like a little bit. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, good survivability. Like a lot of it is just, you're very tanky. And like, I mean, look at Sigma. Sigma's up to 1,300 HP. Pretty good. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna land, you're gonna take all that damage, you're gonna heal right back up because your team's, look at this. Holy crap, I'm just watching your HP bar. You're up to 2,500 HP after beat. Holy crap. This build is just fun. This is like one of those builds that it's definitely going to be a different play style, but it's just like fun. You're so tanky. Look at this reverse sweep. This was a reverse sweep from 3-0 to 4-3. This build's going to be fun to try. So there you go. Thank you for showing that build. I love the idea of that. I'm going to try it. But yeah, thank you a ton for submitting that build. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to submit your own builds, my Discord, we have a section for that. We would love to see your builds. Outside of that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you all have an amazing day/night.